Jen, so great to have the opportunity to talk to you. How are you today?
I'm so good. And I like am now just putting it together that I think everyone I'm talking to today is like from Canada and I'm like in love with Canada as a thing. So I'm really
Well,
happy.
hey, listen, open arms for you. Anytime you want to come visit, we're here for you. I have a spare bedroom. It's all good.
Okay, great.
Okay, can I just tell you how much I love Teeter and how much I love this show? And before we start talking about you and the character and all that, to say that this show has a following is an understatement. The fans are insane. Why do you think audiences are connecting with Yellowstone?
Oh my gosh. I I think that the show makes everybody nostalgic for a thing that they either had or maybe they never had, but it's in our bones. I feel like we are like society is evolving and moving in this technological age like so much faster than our DNA has caught up with, and
Yeah.
that we are really built for a lifestyle that is a little bit more like, sorry, my dog is snoring, that is my bulldog, that is not some weird stomach issue.
It's all
um,
good. It's all good.
it's just like I think that we are frankly meant to live a lifestyle a little closer to the land, or a lot closer to the land.
Well, especially after these last 2 years, don't you think?
Oh, 100%. I mean, there's also like during the pandemic, I don't
Yeah.
know if you were there, but there was like everybody around me, we, including myself, we're all like, we're going to start growing our own food. And the other big thing was like sourdough starters, like
Right.
sourdough bread, like as if like we never thought of it. We had never thought of it before. Um,
Right? Yeah,
yeah,
it's true. Yeah,
yeah,
it is so, so true. But I have to say, like this show, aside from the amazing cast, and all of you are just so, so good, let's just talk about Taylor Sheridan for a moment, if we may.
that's
I
great.
mean, what is going on in that guy's brain that makes him such a genius, and that don't you want to just sit across from him and pick his brain?
Yeah, I've done that. You're right. He is a genius. I have done that. It freaks. It is a freak level of genius. And I knew that already, but for whatever reason, the thing that really like locked it in, that I was like, oh, this guy's like on a whole other thing, was I spent some time with his family and they're just like the coolest. Um, and he really lives that life, by the way. I like got in at
Yeah.
8:30 at night, like 7 in the morning or 6 in the morning. He comes in and he's like, get up, we got to move cattle. And I'm like,
Wow.
okay. Um, he cooked, he had like 2 days off and he cooked, and his palate, he's like a professional chef. I mean, I'm talking about like, I'd put him head to head with like some of the best restaurants I've ever eaten in ever in New York City.
Wow.
And it, for whatever reason, like locked in the fact that like this guy's sort of brain and synesthesia is functioning on a whole other level.
That's amazing.
Brilliant.
That's a new reality show, Cooking with Taylor Sheridan. I like that.
It is very, you know what? That's
Hmm.
not bad. It's really good. If anything, it like, if it's not a reality show, it's like something that like plays in the background, because it's actually this incredibly meditative experience. At least I felt like I just would sit and watch him and I was like, what's going on?
So cool. That is really, really cool. Okay, so how much fun are you literally having playing Teeter? Because let's just start with being in the bunkhouse with all these guys. Like, I mean, testosterone city. Okay, your eyes are lighting up, and so are mine.
Yeah.
Please dish.
I mean, I feel like for maybe my eyes are lighting up for like a different reason. Like I am aware that like I work with like incredibly good looking fit men. And for whatever reason in my life, that just like has never registered with me on like a like,
Right.
ooh, crush
For
experience.
sure. Yeah.
Like, um, I, most of my friends are dudes in my life. Cause like, I just have like 12-year-old boy brain.
Yeah.
Like my idea of a really bad day is brunch with like a bunch of ladies in LA. Like LA brunch, like having brunch and talking. Like that is my like worst day. Like I'm like, I just want to go like build a rocket in the
Right.
yard or like light something on fire. Like, I don't know.
I love it.
I'm like, yeah, I want to do activities. So I feel like the reason why the show works is that even if they don't appear to be from the same world on the surface, Taylor casts actors who have an inner essence or a need to express
Yeah.
that lines up with a character. And I mean, I certainly feel like that with Teeter. We may look really different and have different lives, but
yeah,
I get her.
Well, I was going to have to say, I mean, you have to connect on some level with the character that you play, like no matter what kind of character it is. But with her, I mean, yeah, she's a tough cookie. She's got a mouth on her. But in season 4, we saw a little bit of vulnerability. I mean, there was some emotion going on there. What was that like to kind of transition her into that?
I loved being able to do that because that's a part of her that's always been really alive for me. That I was like, I guess people would be like, they would see her one way. I'm like, oh no, she's so much more than that. So I was glad for that to get some airtime. And he really wrote that one scene and it really captured what I was feeling. And he does that again and again, where like, he'll write something and it's exactly what I'm thinking. Like I knew going into the bunkhouse, for example, that she was going to be obsessed with Colby.
Yeah.
I just knew it before, like, and that's such a great feeling when you and the writer are so on the same page, even without talking.
Yeah, so cool. It's so amazing. Now, like we said, this cast is so fabulous. Everybody is so good in this. But to have that opportunity to work opposite someone like Kevin Costner, you know, I thought like when season 1 started and this new show, Yellowstone, and I'm like, Kevin Costner doing TV? Okay, I could see that. Maybe, you know, all right, hello, it works, you know. But for you as an actor to work opposite him, Academy Awards, and just everything he's been through, what is that like for you? What kind of experience?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's like it made me incredibly nervous. And I had to do a lot of like mental management to just like kind of quiet all of the nerves and feelings of like, I'm going to freak out. To just like be able to get there and do my job with him. And once I kind of took care of that and did what I needed to do in here, it's just a masterclass.
Yeah.
Because because he is also an amazing director as well. You're watching him act, and then you can also see his director brain come in. And so it's just a masterclass, and he's so generous and he's so giving. And I still get really nervous to talk to him sometimes, even though there's no reason to be nervous.
Right.
He's the most loving, giving man ever and really wants to talk to you. Yeah. But I still get totally starstruck and nervous around.
Well, that's good though. That's good. It keeps you on your toes for sure. Yeah. Okay, so where would you like to see Teeter going if we were going to have a season 5, or like where would you like to see her go?
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, like I have like a weird fantasy that doesn't necessarily work for the show, which is like, I want her to become like Beth's errand boy. Like, oh, I would love it if she just like does Beth's bidding, whatever that is. I really love that feeling of being a part of that group and having to push against something.
Yeah.
I really like the scene. I mean, all of the poker scenes are fun, and the
poker scenes are amazing. Oh my God. And I understand you did a lot of ad-lib, huh? Doing some of those scenes?
Yeah.
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 Like you really let your potty mouth go.
I said a lot of really dirty things to a young person. Like I said a lot of bad words, and I just was like, and after the fact, like in the moment, I was like all like adrenaline filled, and then his mom was on set, and then just like, that kid is really cool. So I just sort of wanted to like get him to be like, but after the fact, I'm so not like, I mean, I might have a potty mouth around kids. Sometimes I might drop the F-bomb, but I'm really protective of children in life. So I was like, oh, like, I got freaked out after.
But come on, it's a character. You can let it go. So that's your excuse, right?
Yeah. You know, I'm like, oh gosh.
Too funny. Well, Jen, thank you so much. I mean, you are so good on this show, and I just can't wait to see where we're going to see you next, and just keep continuing the great work. And thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. All right, I'll come visit you.
Yes, I told you I've got that spare room. Okay.
I remember.
Okay, don't forget, Toronto, come and visit me. Okay, bye, Jen.
Bye.
Great.